Apology with tears and blood. Now, I should not have been using that word.
This guy said the B word. Dude, it's like we're 5 years old.
I don't think this kind of humor is funny, and I never want to say anything that is hurtful to a group of people.
People dug to find this and then got upset about it on purpose.
Well, I guess I'll just finish her up then.
Genocide supporter alert.
I'm seeing some comments about the Starbucks cup in my new video, and I just wanted to apologize for my ignorance. Danny Gonzalez having to apologize for having a Starbucks cup in his video is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Touch grass, people. Everybody loves YouTuber apologies. It's a staple of the site to the point where people have made entire tier lists where they can rank them based on how funny or bad they are.
Oh, it's a dead body? Whoa, it's a real dead body, guys. Woohoo! Maverick merch, baby. Dead man over there. I'm honestly still surprised he didn't go over there and just start putting Maverick merch on the corpse, to be honest.
And now even mainstream celebrities like Diddy are posting YouTuber apologies and getting dunked on.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
But what about when the apology didn't need to happen? What started as me seeing the latest dumb apology led me down a rabbit hole of genuine ignorance and performative outrage related to one of the biggest boycotts in the world right now. And that brings us to Danny Gonzalez. He's a commentary YouTuber with 6.5 million subscribers who's been posting videos since October of 2014, which is when he was much more popular on another platform called Vine.
This is how I teleport.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Hey son. Hey dad, what's up? You're adopted. Why would you rap that?
Well, as you all know, Vine shut down, and all of the people that were there were looking for a new outlet, which is when the Paul brothers, Lele Pons, and all those cringe lords invaded the platform in the Viner invasion of YouTube of 2017. With them also came a new wave of commentary channels heavily inspired by H3H3, namely Drew Gooden, Cody Ko, and of course, Danny. He's made a very successful career out of calling out other creators, making fun of strange videos and movies, and really just, being a pretty entertaining guy. But he's also made a number of apologies for downright bizarre behavior. So back in the day, Jake Paul was the talk of the town. Everyone's calling him out, including, of course, Danny, who made at least 7 videos about the guy. But today, you can only find 6 of them. One of them is gone for some reason. He never really explained why, on his YouTube channel at least. And so it makes you wonder, why is that? Well, one of the things he criticized Jake for was allegedly bullying his employees, the Martinez twins. The Martinez twins said that Jake made them hump each other. And they also claimed that Jake was racist towards them. They were Spanish, and at the time, they claimed that Jake called them beaners. So Danny reported on this happening, and he said that Jake had called them that.
I hate Jake Paul because he bullied them and called them beaners.
But apparently, someone messaged him years later upset about the fact that he even uttered the word out loud. Now, the natural response is to be like, okay, well, he said it in context. He wasn't calling a Mexican person a beaner. He was calling someone else out for doing that. And if you subscribe to the idea of reclaiming slurs, which I kind of don't, well, Danny Gonzalez is Mexican, so he can, he can say it. Apparently, he felt differently.
I don't really know if I should wait until more people are in here, but I just, something just came up when I was, on Twitter, right before I got on here, and I don't, I feel like I should address it right now. I was going to on Twitter, but I was about to go on stream anyway, so I just want to talk about it. I'm gonna turn off my chat on here for a second, because it's gonna distract me. And this too. So a couple weeks ago, I got a DM from somebody that was about one of my videos that I posted a few years ago. It was a YouTube Rewind video that I made. I made a video about the YouTube Rewind in 2017, so I made it in 2018. And in the video, I used a racial slur for Mexican people, the B slur. At the, sorry, I'm trying to stay on my train of thought. I totally forgot about that video, and if you a few weeks ago told me that I said that, I would not have believed you, because I honestly do not remember saying that in the video. A few weeks ago, somebody DM'd me this a clip from that video, and I was shocked at first, and then I took down the video and I apologized to the person. I was kind of surprised that between like 2018, and now nobody else had said anything.
Look at how nervous this guy is. He's so scared of people being mad at him. Like, bro, you make videos calling out other people on the internet. That's your job. This is your job. And one message sent you over the edge like this? I almost feel bad for him. I feel like the guy has an anxiety disorder or something. He's so nervous. I can practically hear the cartoonish sound effects of his teeth chattering. And let's talk about what people are actually mad at him for here. He said a word out loud in context. That's it. He didn't say it in a racist way. He didn't target anyone. He just said a slur in context to explain a situation. And somehow he thinks that is so bad that he took down the entire video.
So I took down the video, and then today I saw a few other people posting the video on Twitter, and so I just want to address it to more than one person, because originally I just DM'd back the person that sent me the video and said it made them uncomfortable, and I apologized. But if anybody else saw that video and was uncomfortable by it, I'm very sorry. I should not have been using that word. I saw a few, I mean, I'm obviously not the one who gets to decide who gets to say that word or not, but I don't feel like I should have used that word.
Look, if he had been genuinely racist and just been like, you know, screw all these border hoppers, we got to get them out, I'd be like, okay, you know what? You know, to an extent, I understand the anger, okay? But he didn't do that. And frankly, to anyone who is upset by someone just hearing a word out loud, you are fucking fragile. It's a word. It's a part of the language. You can say it when discussing someone else using it. This culture on YouTube where these words are like Voldemort and you can't even say them out loud is insane. And frankly, it's disrespectful to history to censor it. I understand not saying it for monetization purposes because YouTube does crack down on stuff like that, which is very frustrating, but you should never ever apologize for saying a word in context. It's ridiculous.
For context, it was in the video I was talking about Jake Paul, who had recently come under fire for calling two of the Mexican members of the Team 10 House that word. So I was saying, this is Jake Paul, the guy who used that word against those people. So that is the context I used it in. I've seen people on Twitter sort of, I was just on Twitter looking at people talking about it. I saw people saying sort of both sides. Some people saying it was okay in the context I used. Some people saying it was okay because I have like Mexican ancestry. Some people saying that it's not okay because I am white, and no matter what context you use it in, it's not okay. I mean, I can't say whether or not it's okay for me to use. All I can say is that yes, I do have Mexican ancestry. I personally don't feel comfortable saying that word. I don't know why I did at the time. Like I said, I don't remember saying it.
Well, you probably felt comfortable saying it because there weren't all of these people breathing down your neck about it thinking you should apologize. Now, to be clear, I don't think this is a fake apology. I think he genuinely, his mind broken himself into thinking that you cannot say words out loud. But it's such a buck broken thing. Like, this dude is so scared of upsetting these fragile snowflake, I hate using the word snowflake, but like genuine snowflake losers who get upset over even hearing a word out loud. It's crazy. They expect him and all YouTubers to walk on eggshells around everything that they think is important and sensitive and should be cared about. They don't even think that intent really matters. It's just that he said it out loud, and that's enough for them to hate him or think he should apologize. And if you check the comment section, it is hilarious. They all call him their perfect sweetie. Can we just appreciate how amazing he is? His apology was so genuine, and you can tell he has not only evolved as a person, but he also really cares about how his words have effects on other people. He didn't try to make an excuse. He took full responsibility for his actions. I love you, Danny. Keep in mind, this guy makes a career off of calling people out. People who have undoubtedly gotten some share of mean comments or reputational loss as a result of his videos. And that's fine. Like, that's what I do. I think that's totally fine and even a cool thing to do. You should be able to call people out. And it's not his fault if some people from his comment section that he doesn't want to, you know, go to their comments and be mean to them are going to do that. That's not his fault. But you're a fucking critic. You shit on people for a living. You can't expect to make everyone happy, especially when you're just... It's ridiculous. He said a fucking word. Now, Drew Gooden, which is his compatriot, his compadre, he similarly apologized for some old jokes he had made. And I find that apology kind of cringe too, considering he was clearly just trying to be funny years ago and wasn't trying to be a hateful person. And also, like, this was years before he blew up, so people kind of had to like seek this out to find it. There was no real victim involved. It was just he made an old silly tweet.
Hey guys, so a few of you have been reaching out to me about a really shitty tweet I made in 2016, and I just want to publicly address it and apologize for it. I used to think that edgy jokes were funny, and I tried to make a joke that frankly doesn't make sense. There's no punchline. It's just two offensive stereotypes back to back. I am baffled that I ever thought this was funny. This is the laziest form of comedy that there is, and I'm so sorry for making such a stupid, insensitive tweet. I'm sorry to the Asian community and specifically to Asian fans of mine who saw this and felt betrayed. These aren't the type of jokes that I like to make. I don't think this kind of humor is funny, and I never want to say anything that is hurtful to a group of people. That's not the type of content that I want to put out into the world. I want to make people laugh and feel good, and this type of shit does the opposite, because not only is it not funny, but using these lazy, racist stereotypes is harmful to the Asian community. There's way too much of that going on in the world already, and I hate that I ever contributed to that because I thought I was just making an edgy joke. I deleted that tweet a few months after I posted it because I realized how stupid it was, and I've regretted it ever since. I know that that tweet does not reflect my beliefs or who I am as a person, and I hope that the way I've carried myself over the past 5 years since then is proof of that. But I also understand that I made a mistake, and it's not up to me to tell you how to feel about it or expect you to forgive me. I just wanted to genuinely apologize because I'm really ashamed of myself for this, and I'm sorry for letting you guys down.
What he actually did here is pretty comparable to what happened with Shane Gillis, which got Shane kicked off of Saturday Night Live. Shane had been an up-and-coming comedian for a while, and he finally got his big break, being on TV. But after the announcement was made that he would be on, he instantly got into hot water. On September 12th of 2019, this guy named Seth Simons tweeted out the following, saying, "Today, SNL announced the hiring of its first cast member of East Asian descent, and also this guy." It featured a video of Shane talking on his podcast titled Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, and in the video he makes fun of stereotypical Chinese accents and also uses the C slur, which I probably can't say on YouTube, but I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. Sort of a little disruption in the chainmail armor, if you will.
Damn, Chinatown's fucking nuts.
It's crazy, dude.
It is full in China. Dude, it's
Yeah.
Chinese down there.
I wonder how that started. They just built one up looking building and people were like, all right, no one said anything.
Let's live there, huh?
The video that Shane had here was pretty clearly a pretty tongue-in-cheek video. It wasn't a serious statement of hatred. Regardless, Twitter did what Twitter does, and Seth Simons' tweet got a decent amount of attention, and the replies were filled with condemnation for what Shane said. And this person writes, "Why is it always the most boring-looking, pig-faced, thumb-looking motherfuckers that talk like this?" Other Twitter users, as well as news publications, began digging through his past to find more unscrupulous clips, which could then be used as ammunition. Vice even published an article titled, "Here's even more audio of Shane Gillis from SNL gleefully saying slurs." I hate to be the one to rail on cancel culture because it's a little cringe, it's a little played out, but it really does seem like a situation where initially it worked. You know, these people got mad at him, and he got kicked off of Saturday Night Live for making jokes, which is what a comedian is supposed to be doing. The guy got a job, the Twitter mob got mad at him, and the guy lost his job.
If I get fired here, whatever, I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week and I'll be fine. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No?
What?
I was like, I
Is that what
literally
you thought?
I literally thought that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny.
Well, it could have been funny.
Yeah.
I was booked up, though.
No, it's fine. It was just funny to truly. That was a conversation I actually had.
Really?
In Lorne Michaels' office in the middle of that.
That's hilarious.
I was in pure panic.
Terror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Because I remember somebody contacted me, like, to have you on. And I was like, I don't have any room. Like, for a long, I could do, like, an emergency podcast, but I'm like, let me let this dude ride this out.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one eventually.
Truly glad that did not happen. Because I would have come in emotional. I would have come in like,
guns
what happened
blazing.
to me isn't fair.
Right.
You know? And I never felt that way. Like, the whole time I was like, I kind of get it.
Shane would go on various podcasts to talk about how he thought his career was over at the time. He thought he was going to be done with comedy, have to go back to selling cars.
Hello, I'm Bob Isis of Isis Toyota.
These events were actually a blessing in disguise, you see. I think the reason why you don't see Shane go on podcasts today to be a sort of culture warrior dude and talk about the evils of cancel culture is because those who tried to cancel him, like Seth Simons, inadvertently gave him the biggest career boost they could have ever given him.
When someone gets really canceled, you need perspective.
Yeah.
You need, you know what it's like? It's like you need that venom to work its way through your system. And then you develop a certain amount of immunity to the actual moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up being a good thing.
Prior to getting his job on SNL, and even as he was hired, he was a completely unknown name in a sea of comedians who were trying to make it big. After his name and face was plastered over all these news articles, his Patreon page for his podcast quadrupled in revenue, and a lot of very popular comedians, even those considered legends by today's standards, began paying attention to him. He became a massive topic of conversation in the comedy world, with Bill Burr giving his take on it just a few days later.
I wouldn't want to be judged by one thing that I did, 10, 15 years ago. So that's personally something I wouldn't do. I would never do that to somebody.
Right. It's just not
I think
understanding.
it says a lot about you as a person that you went out and did that to him. I don't think, especially like as you're starting out as a comic or you're riffing and stuff. It's just like, dude, I got a bit in my act right now that like the first time I told it, 2 women screamed at me and walked out and then waited to tell me go myself and all that, and I got into him with and then I honed it. The other night, same fucking joke, this woman came up to me and she says, oh my God, I feel like you were talking about my life. Yeah, and this thing, I don't know the guy, so I don't know who he is, but I'm not going to just watch an 8-second clip of somebody on a podcast and be like, okay, I know who that guy is.
Before long, he's on Theo Vaughn, he's talking to Andrew Schultz, and he went on Joe Rogan. Andrew Yang, presidential candidate at the time, even posted saying he would be meeting up with Shane to have a conversation, implicitly communicating that he didn't really care about the jokes made about Chinese people. He knew it was in jest. Anyone who actually had a decent platform or any respect in any industry seemed to understand that these were jokes. You could say that it was in poor taste, you could say it was insensitive, you could say it didn't land, but to call him racist over it is very dumb. Thankfully, the comedy world embraced his intentions. They recognized him for his comedic talent. And in the past few years, Shane Gillis has become a household name. He sells out shows anywhere he goes. He's probably the most successful comedian for his age, as he's 36 years old. And most of the most famous comedians right now are pushing 50, if not over 50. And the nice thing is that it's not in spite of his controversy that he became this famous. It's basically like this controversy is what made him a breakout success in the first place. But this kind of culture that I'm talking about with comedians does not exist on YouTube in any respect. And if you say anything that's regarded as somewhat insensitive to any group of people, if you make a stereotype joke or anything, you are instantly shunned. Unless it's about white people, because, obviously you can joke about that. Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez are commentary channels, but a big goal of their videos, especially early on, was to be funny. They're kind of comedians. People didn't love them because they criticized the right person. It's because of the way they did it, that they were entertaining. They were funny.
Oh my God, the world is so up right now. People in Syria are being murdered. ISIS seems to be unstoppable, and I'm pretty sure the United States is about to go to war. This is terrifying. And what am I doing? How am I contributing to anything? I'm not. I spend all my money on food, and right now I'm just sitting here on my computer. I'm not even wearing pants. There are millions of people out there right now wearing pants, and I'm not. I could be doing something, anything, but I just choose to do nothing. Does that make me part of the problem? Am I just as bad as everyone else? Wait, holy shit, this fucking guy again? Ugh. Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm ready to bitch.
Now, I'm not expecting these dudes to be the most controversial people online or be political activists or a part of the N-word army, okay? I'm not expecting that. What I do expect is for them to not apologize for the most minute shit possible. Let's say you've watched my video up until this point right now, and you disagree with me. You think these guys did need to apologize for what they did. Well, how about apologizing for drinking coffee? Take this video from Danny Gonzalez from May 20th of 2024 titled Recreating Insane Dad Talks. Notice anything about this frame right here? See anything disgusting? Yeah. I didn't think it should like you would. Kowalski analysis. If you zoom into the bottom left of the frame, you'll see a cold brew with a lot of creamer in it from, that's right, Starbucks. Apparently, this pissed off some of his fans enough that he felt the need to issue an apology for drinking coffee. With the comments turned off, of course. I'm seeing some comments about my Starbucks cup in my new video, and I just wanted to apologize for my ignorance on the boycott. As someone who thinks the ethnic cleansing happening in Palestine is horrible, I should definitely do better to stay informed, and truth be told, during this time in my life, I've been spending as little time on social media and news outlets as possible, so there's a lot I don't see. I totally understand that seeing the Starbucks cup can look like I'm picking the side of this corporation that has been standing in the way of people standing up for Palestine. I will do better in the future, gang. I'm sorry. There are a lot of great places you can go to learn and support the people of Palestine right now, but special shout out to Creators for Palestine, run by a bunch of creators that I'm friends with. I want to believe that this guy's being genuine here with this apology, but it's so insane to me to think that someone would genuinely feel sorry for drinking a beverage because the company that they got the beverage from supposedly supports Israel or something.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott this up, please, Hassan. At least pretend. Do it off stream, please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
No.
No soda, son. I didn't know it was like that.
This is the kind of hysteric individual that Danny is catering to here. But you know what? I got curious about it. I'm a curious guy. I'm a curious cat. What is the case with this whole Starbucks thing? Is it real that Starbucks supports genocide? Well, to even believe that, you need to first believe that Israel is committing genocide, and honestly, I don't feel qualified enough to determine if they actually are. I make drama videos and memes, of course. If you want to look into some more serious political stuff, you can watch someone else.
I don't know what this is. What is this thing? Who is this person? Like, am I supposed to know who this person is? I mean, this is funny. This is a funny meme. Is he like a Reddit person? Is that what it is? He's one of your biggest haters? Bro wrote the problems with Palestine. I do enjoy it when, like, if he's a drama YouTuber, when drama YouTubers get into, like, serious political content coverage, like, it's great. He's a 4chan Discord troll. Okay, I don't really care. Let's move on.
But I still wanted to know if Starbucks supports Israel at all. So we're going to go forward with this video with the assumption that supporting Israel is bad and they are committing some kind of genocide for the sake of argument. The question to answer is, what did Starbucks actually do? If you search for Starbucks on social media, you'll find images of bloody coffee cups. They supposedly lost $11 billion due to boycotts directly because of their support for Israel. So the first question I had was if Starbucks had any locations in Israel. The answer is no, and they haven't since 2003, which is long before any of the stuff going on right now with Israel and Palestine. Obviously, the conflict as a whole and the tensions have been going on even before that, but 2003 exists outside of our current October 7th paradigm, which apparently is the date that everybody woke up and realized that Starbucks is actually supporting Nazi Germany. So why is this boycott happening, and why is Starbucks being targeted? Well, it comes from the belief that Starbucks sued a union over their support of Palestine.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have officially boycotted Starbucks, and I would like for you to join with me as well. The Starbucks union posted a tweet saying solidarity with Palestine. However, the corporation is suing the union because of that tweet, and they expressed their unequivocal support for the regime. So Starbucks, you will never see a penny from me again. Of course, my couple dollars is not going to make a difference. However, if my money is going to the active colonization and the ethnic cleansing of my people, that is where I draw the line. And there's nothing against the baristas or the union. The baristas are one of the sweetest employees I have ever come across in a business. However, I need to stand for this. So this morning I have picked up a Tim Hortons. I have deleted my Starbucks app. If anybody has some Tim Horton recommendations, let me know. But as always, free Palestine.
What actually happened? Well, labor unions, as many of you know, and some of you may not know, exist to allow employees of a company to demand better treatment from that company. It's the idea that separately, individuals are not in a position to demand anything from a massive corporation because on paper, they are replaceable. But if these employees band together, they can make demands for better treatment by threatening the company's bottom line with a strike or something like that. It's easy to say f you to one guy who you can replace tomorrow. It's very, very difficult to say f you to thousands of employees. According to the Starbucks Workers United website, we began taking action to push back on unresponsive management, unjust retaliation, and an unfair scheduling system. We saw that store by store, it was possible to win direct changes by taking a unified stand, and that by unionizing, we can address these issues and hold Starbucks accountable. Seems like a pretty noble mission. Well, the union's Twitter at one point posted saying solidarity with Palestine in response to what is supposedly a video of Palestinian forces tearing down an Israeli occupation erected fence on the border. Starbucks then received a number of complaints, as people believe that Starbucks themselves were supportive of the Palestinians, of Hamas, of them in this side of the conflict, despite the fact that the union is not, Starbucks themselves, they're a union. A Florida state rep named Randy Fine posted saying, if you go to Starbucks, you are supporting killing Jews, which is completely hysterical and ridiculous. But whatever, I guess, this guy's a nerd. Supposedly, this is one of many. Starbucks claims that they received over 1,000 complaints about the union's post. Workers were supposedly being threatened, and one location in Rhode Island was forced to temporarily close due to vandalism. Vandals spray painted Stars of David and a swastika on the windows of a Rhode Island store. So Starbucks is like, well, this is going to affect our bottom line if people think that we support this side of the conflict. Starbucks sells coffee, not politics. So they sued the union over the use of their logo. Starbucks is suing for trademark infringement, demanding that Workers United stop using the name Starbucks Starbucks Workers United for the group that is organizing the coffee company's workers. Starbucks also wants the group to stop using a circular green logo that resembles Starbucks' logo. Now, you can honestly criticize Starbucks for this. I think it's pretty valid. Unions are an important component of maintaining worker rights in an era where our lives are largely ruled by a few major corporations who have no incentive to treat their employees well unless pushed into a corner. But to claim that Starbucks supports Palestine, or what people are claiming now, which is that they supposedly support the genocide of the Palestinians, is insane. The bottom line is they support neither. They just don't support the union. Despite this, a lot of people have misinterpreted the information wildly.
Some people are still confused as to why Starbucks is getting boycotted, and I'm here to tell you why and give you the details. On October 7th, Starbucks' Workers Union, also known as Starbucks Workers United, posted a pro-Palestine tweet expressing their solidarity with Palestine. A few days after the tweet, Florida Republicans, including U.S. Senator Rick Scott, called for a boycott of Starbucks. The Orthodox Chamber of Commerce also called for a boycott of Starbucks, saying that drinking a cup of Starbucks was drinking a cup of Jewish blood. On the same day as these calls for a boycott, Starbucks leadership said that they disagreed with the union's views and statement. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz met with the CEO and founder of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber to discuss the ongoing support of Israel and the condemnation of the union stores that support Palestine. The CEO of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber suggested to Schultz that he should close down the stores. Schultz explained that it would be illegal for him to do so, but expressed his desire to close down every union store and terminate all the employees. The chamber suggested that Starbucks should take legal action, and then the chamber and Starbucks worked together to release a list of all 300 union stores and their addresses, putting all of these employees at risk. On October 18th, Starbucks sued the union for trademark infringement, demanding that Starbucks Workers United stop using Starbucks in their name and to also stop using any other identifying symbols. Starbucks Workers United then sued Starbucks because the company has stated and implied that the union supports terrorism and violence. Because of Starbucks' ongoing support for Israel and them suing the union after a pro-Palestine tweet, many people and customers then started calling for a boycott on Starbucks. So before your next Starbucks trip, think, is this a company that I really want to support?
In an effort to criticize these crazy Republicans who called for a boycott of Starbucks, these people then did the exact same thing, but from the other side of the aisle. Now, the one thing that could be valid, and you know what, I think people should look into it, is that Starbucks' largest private shareholder, Howard Schultz, is openly a Zionist. He's also their former CEO. But there's no direct evidence that this guy had anything to do with the union, and honestly, it's kind of ridiculous for me to even bring this up because the majority of people supporting the boycott don't actually know anything about it and just think Starbucks bad. Starbucks send money to Israel, which is not the case. There's actually a lot of interesting posts on the Starbucks subreddit about this issue. Keep in mind, the majority of this sub is employees complaining about the company and its problems. So these people aren't like Starbucks white knights. These people aren't like, oh my god, I love the new drink. It's, we work here and working here sucks. And despite that, they disagree with the public's perception of the boycott. One user asks why people believe that Starbucks supports Israel, and a few people left pretty succinct summaries that really make you think. It really makes you think because they're worded quite well and they did their research. Yeah, Starbucks suing the union for using their image to make a political statement is pretty much the norm for any major corporation. I have zero issue with people boycotting Starbucks. The treatment of employees should be reason enough. But spreading misinformation about Starbucks supporting Israel is only taking attention away from the larger cause and actual actions people can take to support Palestine. Another recent post is from a protester who was reconsidering the boycott after finding new information. I took part in the Starbucks boycott because initially they seemed to fund Israel. I later found out this wasn't true and everyone was running with a tweet that apparently didn't represent the company. My friend had Starbucks in class and was bashed by a couple people. I want to know where people are finding evidence that Starbucks is one of the places to boycott, or if people just took this false information and ran with it. Besides, what's the point? Yeah, the company faced an $11 billion value loss, but isn't the point of a boycott supposed to result in change? Was that not the result of the boycott? They're just going to forever stop going to all these places? Even if Starbucks did support Israel, or whatever the case is, they came out and said they didn't, so why is there still hate? The top reply, which doubled the upvotes of the original post, leads as follows. Here they say, essentially, I feel like no one actually knows what happened. LOL. Starbucks retaliated after branches of its union, Starbucks Workers United, posted a tweet that expressed solidarity with Palestine. This was in 2023. You can see Starbucks' statement here. In this statement, you can see that they conflated solidarity with Palestine for condoning the actions of Hamas. Starbucks then sued its union for copyright infringement for use of their name and logo. But no, never has Starbucks corporate funded Israel, at least to my knowledge. In my opinion, if you want to boycott Starbucks, it's more factually correct to do so because of their union-busting practices and child labor allegations. This whole thing, this whole rabbit hole, started for me as seeing a funny YouTube apology that didn't need to happen, and it led me down a rabbit hole of discovering that this entire boycott is completely misguided and probably didn't need to happen, and probably won't have any benefit for the people that they want to benefit, because Starbucks isn't sending money to Israel. As for if the boycott is even the cause of Starbucks' major loss of $12 billion, it's honestly hard to say. Snopes.com, after following the entire event, writes, without further data, we're unable to definitively confirm the connection. For example, we asked at the Pop Tings, the user who originally posted the rumor in question, for evidence to support the post that made these claims. And by these claims, they mean the idea that Starbucks lost $11 billion because of the boycotts. In response, a user managing the account quickly sent over 2 links to news articles on Newsweek and MarketWatch.com. While these articles contained information that said Starbucks' market value had dropped, these stories did not provide sufficient data to conclude that the boycotts had indeed been the primary factor that caused the slump. Upon asking the user again for relevant data, we did not receive another response. And I know what I'm going to say here is totally anecdotal, but anytime I've been to a Starbucks in the past year, it's packed and I can barely get what I want, so I don't think this boycott is that effective, to be honest. Danny Gonzalez apparently is too afraid to even say the word beaner in context. Not only that, but when receiving a few negative comments, he's too afraid to even drink coffee from a place he likes because of the misguided assumption that Starbucks coffee is being poured into the bunker busters that Israel uses to take out Hamas. Does it mean his videos are terrible? No, they're fine, and I'm not going to keep you from watching them. What it does mean is that, ironically, in an effort to not be ignorant, he turned out to be more woefully ignorant than anyone ever could have imagined. Notice how in his post he didn't even say anything specific about why Starbucks is bad. He didn't try to educate his audience. He didn't try to say anything. He was just like, I've been informed. By fucking what, motherfucker? What were you informed about? I just got informed, and I can see that you're wrong. And that's not really surprising, but it is really funny. The last time I covered the old apology he made about the Martinez twins incident, okay, when the third tower was hit, so to speak, I got a lot of comments like this. Danny has always come across to me as a really understanding dude who just wants to make people happy. It makes me feel really weird to see him literally in tears over saying what I've always understood as like the lightest slur ever. I don't know if Danny has an anxiety disorder, but I do, and I can completely understand his seemingly disproportionate reaction. I don't like that so many people are shaming him for crying, not because I'm a fan even, just because I don't like dismissing people's genuine emotions, especially in a culture where men can seemingly never cry at all. And that's completely fair. It honestly seems like Danny is a very nervous person in general, considering these apologies, and also that he apparently apologized for using the word femboy. But you make a living off of criticizing and calling out other people. It's not really my problem if people in the comment section make you this upset, especially when it's over this, which is so nothing. Now, if you'd excuse me, I have a cold brew to enjoy. To be honest with you, I feel like it's worse that the coffee's just not that fucking good. But, you know, say what you will on genocide this, genocide that. What about bad fucking coffee? Thanks for watching. Thank you very much for this featured fan art I'm going to show on screen right now. Appreciate you guys for all the recent stuff. And I will see you all in tomorrow's video where I fit a bunch of marbles into my ass.